Eastern Final. Argonauts, Roughriders ready for the season opener for both teams at Mosaic on Friday night.
Remember 2015? It's been a bumpy road since. So the question in Saskatchewan is, can Zach make a comeback? He'll be tested. Totals since 2008.
Mark Trestman posted his third Cup coaching victory in November. His Riders went from 5 wins 2 years ago, 10-8 last year, only to lose the Eastern Final to the Argos. Who put the Roughriders in the lead in that Eastern Final with a big punt return, and he breaks it out beyond the 30-yard line.
Boy, it's been the tale of two Zachs over the last 5 years. He's not that far removed from 2014 when he went toe.
As Jerome Messam in the backfield, returning for a second tour of duty with the Roughriders, and inside.
Backfield, Trey Mason also dressed tonight, but there is Jerome Messam, who slimmed down, 15 pounds lighter than he was a year ago. Of course, the big two receivers. Who beat out Travis Bond to play that import guard position in Chris Jones' offense for Saskatchewan.
Seven. 4 receivers wide side. Polaris looking that way. Grey Cup heroes last November up in Colares.
Cleon Lang is a guy who created the big fumble that was a game.
So Josh Bartell to punt. There's Martese Jackson. Covered by Samuel McWabbin. And that's where the Argos will scrimmage for the first time in 2018. Back.
Well, the organization and Mark Trestman gave Ricky Ray, said they need to know by about February, but the Trestman said, fantastic, let's get it done. Changes behind him with James Franklin, a new Argo, and McLeod.
The last 2 playoff games, incompletion intended for S.J. Green.
You heard the panel talk about it. For the comeback player of the year, 104 catches. There's their veteran at right tackle, Chris Van Zyl.
2nd and 10, looking for Green on the
some pressure in training camp, some competition to see if Javon Johnson was getting up there at 34 years old, but he fought off that competition, and he'll start at the wide side corner.
So 2 Points on either side on the opening series. Here's Ronnie Pepper winning the kicking duties away from Swayze Waters. And Christian Jones up past the 40-yard line. A short punt. Decent field position for it. Caleros and the Roughriders on their second possession. Opening night for Zach Caleros in Saskatchewan. Like Dylan Wynn, second-year defensive tackle, got a paw on the football.
I agree with Matt Dunnigan, the panel, talking before the game about Plummer in the middle. It's got some playing time from last year. Bearwood still about 6 months away, and added TJ Heath to their secondary. That's part of the reload.
Sean Lemon with first contact and forces the fumble. Guy who was traded out of Saskatchewan before playing a game.
Coming off the edge, just good pressure, and slaps the ball down. A guy who led the team last year in quarterback.
So Bartell to punt once again. Jackson deep. He's up, but it might be sorted out when we come back. Sean Lemon making an early impact.
Sure that if Ricky Ray was going to come back for another year, that it wasn't just to win another championship, that he had more to give to his teammates, give to the league.
It's hit, but airs it out, looking for S.J. Green, and he's got it. Well, the guy who had a
asked him in February when he made the call back, are you willing to take those hits in the mouth? Are you willing to go through the grind and the process?
did take a hit. 41 yards on the initial first down into Saskatchewan Roughrider defense that gave up the second fewest points last year.
Boy, this fan base is excited about the potential of the two bookends here. He could fill the shoes of Enoch Nwaba in the middle of that defense. Ed Gainey led the league in interceptions last year. He had 10.
Drop seems for Monty Edwards, incomplete.
Ray on the one throw, though, got a lot of field. We're chipping away, moving the field position positively, and then in one play, Ray got it all back.
So Christian Jones back inside the 10. Angle punt that Jones allows to fall in the end zone. He'll concede one, and the Argos are on the board. Right decision by Jones.
Good decision.
Deron Carter coming off a spectacular two-way season for the Roughriders.
Beyond him, this is a new beginning, new colors. We'll see if he can make the comeback.
Start at the 35, and here's 7-yard season.
Yeah, I had a good conversation with Jerome yesterday, and said he wanted to slim down a little bit, get his work on his feet. Potentially, they don't throw the ball quite as much to him as they would to James Wilder, but potentially could be a thousand candidate. You mentioned off the top, Chris, Saskatchewan in the preseason game against Calgary had some issues on their O-line, and that had the fan base really worried. For them to play the first, third, and second and fourth, respectively.
And it was 3rd and inches. Flags fly.
About that.
Procedure. Saskatchewan number 57. Move the ball forward. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
That's
Clark, the center, and moving it ahead.
He moved the ball ahead to the line. You can't do that.
So the 3rd punt by Bartel. He is dropped. Well, we mentioned that it's a 4th Grey Cup ring for Ricky Ray as a starter. We have
I can think about all the things that, maybe I accomplished personally and all that. It's going to be fun to kind of brag about myself to my grandkids. Before not really knowing what was going to happen, and just kind of going through that journey with him and getting that opportunity was very special.
Here's Jackson in the back. Although he tried to stay away from influencing Ricky Ray, but the other thing he said was, don't just leave the game. Second and 6, Wilder back in. Being haunted in the offseason by the 3rd and 5 play that James Wilder caught against him, and Aguavin not.
Final, and that play was a game changer for Toronto. Got him to the Grey Cup.
Hey, Creef.
And cut down just beyond the 30-yard line. Good tackle on the play, Alex Charette. So the Roughriders.
The Toronto defense last year, and it's a lot of the same guys, same personnel, were number 1 against the run.
It down. That's Justin Tuggle off the edge.
There's a couple of knockdowns. Throws when Zach Calera. About a guy that last year registered 63 defensive plays in limited
offensive line as Darius Vladeck is in for Jarvis Harrison at guard. There's a pass complete to the first down.
I'm not sure. TJ Heath retaliated after something, and he may have given 15 yards back. Maybe they're both going against TJ Heath.
Late hit out of bounds looked like the preliminary call.
There's two major fouls on the play, both against Toronto, number 23, for unnecessary roughness.
Carter showed discipline on the sideline there and did not retaliate. TJ Heath gets both penalties. Discipline to draw a second one from TJ Heath, who just hit someone on the bench down there.
All CFL last year. Yarder.
Look at Marcus Ball there, Chris, the leader of this defense. While Bear Woods isn't in the lineup, Marcus Ball goes. Offense.
Talked to Matt Black before the game, one of the first down. The Argos last year and nearly made another against Qdarius Ford.
I was going to say flashback time because it looked a 50 ball, throw it up and see if your receiver can win it, and he's going backhand and just gets pulled down.
Second down.
But once you touch the ball, the defender. The one he made against the Argos last year.
Joked with us yesterday that the eyes were closed on the one-hander last year. The catch in the Canadian Football League. Second and 10 from the Argo 33.
That's a confidence-building throw, too, for Zach Collaros, because he took a bit of a hit there, and it was close by. Matt Black was in the area, but good inside move here by Deron Carter. He is open. Zach stood in there, took the hit.
And first man up, Akeem Jordan to help trip him up. And Matt Black was saying it's the 10th different DC he's had in 10 years. But
reload for Zach Collaros here. He's calling a new play.
Second and 9, just gets it away. newcomer to this offense.
I think this penalty is going to be holding against Saskatchewan, but
Number 66, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
So there's Bladdock getting the hold, who has come into the game for Jarvis Harrison.
him shuffle to his right, find a little throwing lane, get the ball out of there. That's the stuff he was doing back in 2015. He can run around well.
And with the catch, Messam now goes over 2,000 yards receiving, but stopped up well short. So a penalty-aided drive. Caleros starting to put first downs together. And out comes Brett Lowther, who will handle the kicking duties. His first attempt, and the game is tied at 1.
Believes he can do that tonight. He says it would mean a lot for him to get to that 100 mark, just because not a lot of other players have been able to reach that. He'd be number 11 on the all-time list, and he's certainly been the king of sacks recently. He led the league last season, has been double digits 5 of the last 6 seasons. Now, you mentioned obviously new to the green and white. Says he's more vocal here. He's trying to extend himself out a little bit more to the younger players and be a mentor. When I asked him though about leaving Calgary, he told me he believes Calgary made a mistake and he's out to prove that to them this season.
Third time the sack champion leads Calgary, tied with Will Johnson for number 1 all-time in sacks. There's Wilder, and he gets stuck at the line of scrimmage and falls forward. There's a Guavin stepping up to make another tackle.
Well, he's 34 years old, and Charleston Hughes still has a lot of football left in him, and he's motivated. As Sarah just mentioned, you know, he wants to prove to the entire league that he can still get it done, looking for number 100 in his career. He had 11 last season, so it's not like his production dropped off. And I talked to Willie Jefferson, who said, man, I am just a sponge learning from Charleston Hughes the nuances of being an expert pass rusher, because that's what Charleston Hughes is.
Hughes and Jefferson, the bookends, doesn't get better than that. Second and long, Ray under pressure, and down he goes, and it is number 100 for Charleston Hughes.
Assist to Willie Jefferson. Take a look. He's a yard off the ball, a couple of yards. He gets a running start around the edge. Jefferson turns right back in, right to him. So the duel gets it done in the first quarter.
Different look for Hughes, coming a yard off the line of scrimmage, but dangerous there. Christian Jones up near midfield and dragged down right at the 55. Well, he takes a cue, doesn't he?
100. Congratulations.
As Sarah mentioned, he led it to 100. Yesterday he said the plan was always to play to 35, and he said, wait a minute, I'm 34 and I got lots of time left now.
Chris Jones is going to move him around, so it's going to be tough to just simply double team or track him or Willie Jefferson, because that time he lined up almost like a linebacker and came from off the line of scrimmage. Jefferson flushed him right to his partner, number 39.
Best field position start for the Roughriders at midfield. Trey Mason in the game at running back, and the former Auburn star takes the handoff, but is stuffed just beyond the line of scrimmage. Cleon Lang there again. So Trey Mason into the game at the running back spot. But a pass situation here on 2nd and 9. And the pass complete. Dig right. Neiman Roosevelt the catch. On the final play of the opening quarter. Milestone for the veteran Charleston Hughes. And bidding because it was a defensive opening 15 minutes of play. 1-1 the score here after the first quarter on Friday Night Football.
The CFL veteran. Charleston Hughes is used to working with rookies opposite him. Did a lot of that in Calgary, guys like Cordero Law.
And Jefferson led the Canadian Football League in quarterback pressures last year. Here's Colaros. Near side, and Darius Ford read the mail and almost had a pick six.
Timing just a little off on the throw, and just as Colaros let it go, I thought Ford's got this. He was breaking downhill. It's the wide side out throw. And if you take that extra second to get it out there, you can get in trouble. Just an extra hop from 17. That ball almost went to the house the other way.
Ford in Rough Rider training camp in 2016 had 8 tackles in the Grey Cup game. In his second year in the Argo secondary, 2nd and 10. And it's dumped off to Trey Mason. There's Mason. Marcus Ball stepped up on him and holds him short of the first down. 3rd round pick of the then St. Louis Rams, and a guy who had 765 yards in his rookie season rushing in the NFL.
Not a chip shot field goal either from here.
Missed his first. Been trying to win back a job for the last 5 years. 2nd attempt of the game from 45 yards out. And this one through. So Lowther a 45-yarder. Back on defense goes Charleston Hughes. And Chris Jones reunited with that all-star defensive end.
He's even a little more experienced now, and you know, life's a little bit slower for him, and he's doing a great job of helping us, you know, coach and mentor these young guys and telling them, you know, what he's seeing. And every single day we do one-on-ones at post practice, and he's out there, and he's a good addition to our team.
Of course, those two won the Grey Cup together. Chris Jones, the defensive coordinator back in 2008 with the Stampeders.
Nice rotation, too, because you put Charleston Hughes, Willie Jefferson, there's your starting, but Toby Antigua and how he came on the back half of the season last year, so he can rotate and spell those guys off a little bit. I think Chris Jones likes his front 7 in general, especially the guys up front.
Ed Fillion, one of those defensive coaches. Martese Jackson on Ray was as well offensively in the Eastern Final last year. Out of the gate, 2 for 5, 40 yards after 506 yards in the season opener last year against Hamilton.
Mark Trestman said, you know, there were times because Trestman goes ones against ones in practice all through training camp. So it's the #1 offense versus the #1 defense. He said there were times that, you know, the defense was winning, but Ray is so consistent. He just shrugged that off, go back to work, and start to get the offense rolling.
No action in the preseason for Ray. That is the way Mark Trestman usually handles the preseason with his #1. And Reagan airing out again, looking deep again, and that one knocked away by Ed Heaney. The top defensive player of the Roughriders last year and number 15 on the top 50 TSN list.
Sorry, Chris, early in the season, Chris Jones talked about Ed Gainey starting to reach his potential. Little sit down on the outside, S.J. Green from the slot back position going one-on-one on Ed Gainey. And when he had that conversation with Gainey, Gainey turned it on.
Interception leader with 10 last year, second and 10. Ray steps up, that one batted down at the line of scrimmage. And Willie Jefferson in the face of Ricky Ray.
And the intended target was Ed Gainey's man again. And after that conversation, it was a game against the BC Lions. Gainey went out there and against the Lions had 4 picks, which is a Saskatchewan Roughrider record in a game. You mentioned 10. He had 2 games with 2. They came in bunches for Ed Gainey after that one.
4th, 2 and out for the Argos so far. Good boot. Jones back at his 18. And is wrestled down short of the 30, but 11 on the return. Nakasanyeka with the special teams tackle. But Ed Gainey with the play to break up what could have been a big one for SG. Jarvis Harrison back on the offensive line for the Roughriders. And Messam back in the backfield. And the big guy motors for a pickup of 9.
Great to have the panel right here at Mosaic Stadium. They're getting ready for halftime.
Yeah, so that's how you get ready.
There are 676 touchdown passes between those guys on our panel, and they are crushing those 2-foot longs. I mean, they're putting those things away.
I'd file a grievance, but after 5 hours and 24 minutes last night,
that's true.
Good on them.
That's true.
Second and a yard. And a little second effort there for the first down by Messam. Wynn and Lang on the stop, the interior of that Argo defensive line.
Not to mention Milt Stiegel with his close to 150 touchdown receptions on our panel. Got some stats over there getting ready. Of course, Big Daddy Rod with that catch, like, what was it, 2 years ago? We had that video of him in the back there. He's tipped it around in the grass and stuff. He's got that in his resume. Although I'm not
being
sure
the resident offensive lineman, he might be, he might have Milt sandwich. First and 10, double tight ends. And they stay on the ground. Roughriders last year were last in rushing. Tuggle the tackle, another carry for Jerome Messam.
It's a good idea to get the newcomers up front settled in too. When I'm talking O-line, look at Taron Vaughn and Jarvis Harrison to get those guys settled in. It's always good to run the ball a little bit, let them go hit somebody rather than get in their pass pros.
Second and 5 from the Rider 45. Short drop and a completion and a first down. Catch is made, his second of the game for the newcomer, Jordan Williams-Lambert. 200 catches in college at Ball State for Williams-Lambert.
It's a 3 receiver. The 1 receiver's outside, 2 in the slot, and that's the 3 receiver in the set. Good timing, and it looks like to me that Zach Collaros is just starting to gain confidence with every throw.
Another big target in the Roughrider arsenal. 8 of 9 first down. Here comes the blitz. Collaros got it away in a hurry. And Williams-Lambert has another catch in front of the newcomer, Raniel.
Good pickup, nice recognition on the blitz for Zach Collaros, and he got it to the newcomer and Williams-Lambert. Another big target. When you look at this receiving corps for Saskatchewan, outside of Naaman Roosevelt at 6'1", Stephen McAdoo, the offensive coordinator, has about an average of 6'4" in his receiving corps. Big guys with long arms.
Second and 2, they hand it off, and Messam wrapped up quickly by Sean Lemon. And let's see.
That's what Henry Burris talked about with defensive players, defensive ends in the game now. Sean Lemon can have contain, keep Zach Collaros in the pocket, and then redirect and get to a run like that on a draw play. That's why it's so difficult for backs to get 1,000 and 1,000 when you're playing against defensive ends that run almost as fast.
No gain. It'll be 3rd and 2.5 to 3 yards, and Chris Jones didn't flinch.
Nice little trick.
They try and draw them offside. No, they're going to go through the play. 3rd down. Looking deep for Holly. Came back to the football against TJ Heath.
Makari Grant was cut after training camp in the preseason because of the potential on the upside of Caleb Hawley. And he comes back here. Zach Collaros had no choice but to throw it up into the middle and hope that his receiver would redirect, and Hawley got it done.
So they extend the drive. 8th play started at the Rider 30, and Messam crashes down for a couple more. Cleon Lang the tackle.
That was pretty slick, though. You see the offense kind of casually walk off like they're switching for field goal team or punt team, and then run back into position, throw it up, and get a new set of downs.
34-yard play to Hawley. And now Collaros 6 for 10. 87 yards in this first half. Midway through the second quarter. Has time over the middle. Touchdown! Naaman Roosevelt on the receiving end of Zach Collaros' first touchdown pass as a Saskatchewan Roughrider.
First touchdown pass as a Rider, and his best throw tonight with confidence. Zip on the ball in a danger area over the middle. Stepped into the throw and delivered a strike. Look at the small window he had to get it through to get it to Naaman Roosevelt.
Last year for Roosevelt, a Western All-Star. First major in 2018. Lowther adds the convert. Good-looking drive. 9 plays, 80 yards. They extended it with a 3rd down. Gamble. And Roosevelt with the touchdown grab.
And it's a tight window for Zach Collaros to get it in there. Watch how, give you another angle to show you the 2 defenders that are closing quickly. As Zach throws this, he's thrown it to a spot. Defender coming here, defender coming here. Zach throws it to the spot, expecting his receiver to keep working through the middle. Touchdown, Saskatchewan.
Ortiz Jackson will cut inside up to the 28-yard line. So the Riders have scored on their last 3 possessions, their first major, and they lead by 10. 2:30 in the morning Pacific, across the TSN network and on CTV. A spectacular game today. Spain and Portugal. A 3-all draw. As for Simon Gingras Gagnon is broken up. There's Derek Moncrief. Strong side linebacker making a defensive play. And the Argos stuck on only 1 first down here in the opening half.
Derek Moncrief and Samuel Guavin have done a nice job of covering backs out of the backfield, whether it be James Wilder Jr. or Martese Jackson.
Ray just 2 for 8 out of the gate. Changes things up here.
On pre-snap read to see Moncrief and man.
Flag flies, they don't get the play off. And Mosaic draws its first penalty of 2018.
Yeah, they draw a few throughout the season, that's for sure.
Contact violation. Toronto number 15. 5-yard penalty. So second down.
By design, Ricky Ray wanted to try. You see, Moncrief bounced out. He's covering, so Ricky Ray knew it was man. You see, he jumps out with Wilder, so he tried to change the play. Couldn't get it done in time. That's the delay of game.
in the 10, three-man rush, the shovel to Wilder, and he breaks through one tackle and is going to get stopped short of the first down, but a few extra yards before Aguavin able to wrestle him to the turf.
This is a small thing that Charleston Hughes does and good defensive ends do that don't end up in the stat. Wilder Jr. cut the other way to where his teammates are. That's sacrificing yourself to make the play.
First punt fielded by Christian Jones. And he is dropped around the 38-yard line. Tackle made by Declan Cross. Let's head back to the sidelines here, Sarah.
Well, Chris, when you think about Anthony Calvillo, you think about the Montreal offensive coordinator for the Alouettes. Looked like he might take a break from coaching this year, saying that he couldn't go through another season like what he had last year in Montreal, but enter Mark Trestman. We know the long history between the two of them, and as quarterback coach so far, Calvillo said that it's been fantastic, exceeded expectations. And from Trestman's perspective, no surprise, nothing but good things, saying that it's been a great dynamic that Calvillo has added.
And Ricky Ray in your quarterback room.
Yeah, I mean, and then you add in Tommy Condell, and let's not miss him in this process, because Mark Trestman will call the plays. He did that last year, and he's going to do it again this year.
Here's Messam, short yardage, and he has a first down at the 50. Condell taking over for Marcus Brady.
But Anthony Calvillo working in this system. Remember the two together in the Montreal days and the Grey Cups in 09 and 10. And Tommy Condell, there he is on the bench working with Ray. And that can only help guys like McLeod, Bethel Thompson, and James Franklin, the former Edmonton Eskimo, now the backups. And Mark Trestman said, boy, they are neck and neck for that number 2 spot. Franklin will do a little short yardage and goal line. Condell's the offensive coordinator, work more on the run game too. But Trestman still calls the plays.
Trey Mason back in the game, and Marcus Ball beats him just beyond the line of scrimmage and dumps Mason, who lost his lid on the play.
Well, Marcus Ball is a nice player. I mean, I'm talking does it all. You need the catalyst on defense. That guy who makes it all happen. He communicates, he keeps people in line, he makes play after play. No surprise that he was with the Argos in 2012 when they won, went down to the NFL, came back last year, and they won again. That's not a coincidence.
3 yards for Mason. 2nd and 7. Here's T.J. Heath on the blitz. Caleros has an open receiver. Here's Joshua Stanford, who's been a focus with the release of Rob Bagg, and it's Stanford taking over that spot as the Canadian receiver.
Absolutely, Chris, and had a big game against the Edmonton Eskimos, and one of the things he did well in the preseason against Edmonton was come back to the ball, gain the trust of Zach Caleros, and he's starting to really settle in with this offense now. Another good throw.
Caleros has got some momentum. That one underneath, complete to Roosevelt in front of T.J. Heath. 6 straight completions for Zach Caleros. Touchdown on their last drive, threatening again at the 3-minute warning.
He's having a protein bar, so he's not having one of those 3-foot longs or whatever they are.
Another good-looking Rough Rider drive started at their 30. 7 different receivers have been used by Caleros, but illegal procedure as Brendan Labatt
57
jumps the gun.
5-yard penalty.
Don't see that often from the 8-time Western All-Star. 5 times All-CFL.
What's the Rider offense in 2nd and long? They had that 2nd and manageable situation. Plays more to the defense's hands now.
So back back at the 38. 5-receiver package. Valeros with a pocket collapsing. Messon finds the handle. But the Argos rally to the football and stuff him at the 35.
And just an offside penalty that turns a potential touchdown drive into a field goal attempt, because it puts Zach Clarkson in second and long, and then the defense will send 4. They drop everybody else. They dump it to Messam, plays to the defense's hands, and they come up and make a tackle. One of the great tacklers from the safety position is Jermaine Gabriel. He makes another one. I think Taylor Loeffler is another great one in Winnipeg, tackling in the open field.
So Lowther from 43 yards out. And he's on target for the second straight time. And it's a 14-1 Rough Rider lead with just over 2 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Well, sense of urgency for Toronto and this offensive series. I mean, they on the road, hostile territory, tough to get plays called on the line of scrimmage. And Chris Jones is watching his offense now start to get into a bit of a rhythm, despite that offside call that stopped that drive. But Zach Clarkson is looking more and more comfortable. So sense of urgency now for Mark Trestman to get something out of this drive.
Points generated on the last 4 possessions for Saskatchewan. And Ricky Ray, 3 of 9, 50 yards. And 40 came on one play to S.J. Green. Just 2 different receivers so far. It's the fly sweep. Martese Jackson has a first down run beyond the 50-yard line.
Reaches in. That's that sense of urgency I just mentioned, that Mark Trestman reaches in deep into his playbook and calls that sort of fly sweep to Martese Jackson with different motion, reload motion, so they get the receivers to come up to the line of scrimmage, set and then reload, and then Jackson from left to right in your screen, the underneath, play on basically a fly sweep. Good yardage on first down.
Biggest run play of the game for the Argos. First down at the 51. They fake to Wilder, and they go to Shingra Gagnon, and he gets bounced there by Derek Moncrief. Moncrief came in last year at 235 pounds. He is now more in CFL shape and cut down at 215, 220 this year.
Spent some time at Auburn, finished his college career at Oklahoma State, was a safety in college in the U.S. and oftentimes a U.S. safety will come down and play, or come up here and play in Canada as a linebacker.
2nd and 7. Ray stands in, fires, and a nice catch there. Well, that is S.J. Green at his best.
Well, that's just sheer will. That's just win the battle. You know, it's football is made up of a whole bunch of one-on-one battles, and if you win enough of them, you win the series. You win enough series, you win the quarter. You win enough quarters, you win the game. That's just S.J. Green. Can't cover it any better, but he won the battle there.
100-yard games last year for S.J. Green. Left one way and then has to eat the football, and Charleston Hughes is on the scene again.
Henry in the rotation, he got in there to help out, but will this be registered to 39 in his second sack of game 1 as the Saskatchewan Roughrider in the stand-up position? Got Willie Jefferson off the other edge, both coming up, one on a stunt, one around the corner, and he gets there. Who gets credit for that one?
The guy with seniority does, doesn't he? They're giving it to Mac Henry instead. So Hughes close to his second. Second and long. Ray has time. Looking for Green. Out of his reach. Incomplete. Moncrief striding step for step with the intended target.
Boy, he played that well, too. Linebacker Samuel Aguavin and Moncrief, I mentioned earlier, have been covering very well. This time Moncrief goes out on A.C. Leonard, or excuse me, S.J. Green. And with S.J. Green, he's in a trail position.
So Pfeffer will look to pin the Riders. Here in the final minute. kick around the 16-yard line.
The Argos are rolling again.
We all live for moments of greatness. Those moments can only be achieved when we pull together.
Recognize that voice. Guy who's won some Grey Cups as well, Pinball Clements. Mark Trestman's offense has been slow to get traction here on the turf at Mosaic. 7 consecutive punts. And Colares has gained momentum as the half's worn on. There's Mason straight ahead. Fumbles the ball, and the Argos get back on it. A big break here. Roddy yelled the recovery as the rookie Trey Mason makes a mistake.
Yeah, I think it was Justin Tuggle, Chris. I mentioned early, he's poised for a big season. This is hustle from Tuggle, I believe. He steps up at the defensive end spot, then comes underneath and punches the ball out as he makes the hustle play coming back. Sometimes you'll see a player get up the field, execute his assignment, and then that's it. They shut it down. Not Tuggle, not that time, and that second effort cost a fumble.
Argos did not have any points in the regular season off turnovers against Saskatchewan, but 18 in the Eastern Final, looking for points off that fumble by Mason. Ray under duress again, and he is dropped again. And Charleston Hughes, who they just credited with the second sack on the previous series, has the hat trick already.
Got there first, little inside move, goes around the corner, keeps with it. Now that one's just a tag down because Ricky Ray went down, but they all kept.
Media about getting 3. Here's Ray underneath Declan Cross. And he is dropped just beyond the original line of scrimmage. Javon Johnson there. But how about this? Cristiano Ronaldo with the hat trick from Portugal earlier today. And Charleston Hughes said it was his turn.
I like how he's spelled Saskatchewan at Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. Well, Ronaldo didn't get his all in one half. Charleston Hughes with 3 already.
I think he's still got some game.
Looking for a 35-yard field goal that gets the Argos to within 10 here in the opening half, so they get 3 off the Mason fumble in the final minute.
Yeah, big play by Charleston Hughes, and this Chris Jones defense starting to really make it difficult for Ray, but those are important points. They're important points for Toronto to get a little bit of something before the half ends, and those points were generated from Justin Tuggle, another defensive end, who I'm sure has watched Charleston Hughes film, because that's what good players do. They watch the best in the league to see how they're getting it done game in, game out. They make the notes on it, and then they try and take some of their game and make it their own. Now he's getting the defense together.
Mentoring stuff.
Yeah, because there's still work to be done.
Riders were 8th in a 9-team league last year in sacks. Quarterback pressures were a different story, but I think they're going to be 8th this year in sacks with number 39. So that'll do it for 30 minutes. The Roughrider defense, Charleston Hughes in particular, a big story. And the other Roughrider newcomer, Zach Colares, did his part as well. And after 30 minutes, was a quiet first half, 6 of 13. Ray was 71 yards.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about. The 6 completions in a whole half of football, you're not going to win with just that. But if there's any positive to take from it, they get a play from a defensive end that turns into 3 points to end the half. Important points, and they get the ball first.
Kickoff to Levi Noel. And first out around the 35-yard line for Noel, brought down by Sam Hurl.
Now they're going to have to block up 39, because in that first half, if you're just joining us, Charleston Hughes was looking for sack number 100 and his first as a Rider. He got that early, so he was 100, but he wasn't done. Close there between Mac Henry and him, but they gave credit to Hughes. He had 3 sacks in the first half.
Working against the left tackle, Will Campbell, in that first half. Here's James Wilder Jr. Last 6 games of the regular season last year, he averaged 20 touches, 190 yards per game. Wilder quiet opening half. And a dominant performance in the final third of last season that made everybody talking about him as perhaps the first to go 1,000 in the CFL. Andrew Harris came close last year. Ray on a roll. He'll take off, and Ray will run for a first down. Longest rush last year for number 15 was 10 yards.
You know, when he sat down with us yesterday in the interview room, I thought Ricky Ray looks like he's in better shape than I've seen him in a long time.
He did look good.
And he, you know, he told us that he's completely healthy, feels really good, and I thought he showed more speed on this run than I've seen from Ricky Ray in the past. Looked pretty good getting out there.
52 rushing yards all of last season. 8 on that first down run up at the 47-yard line. Take to Wilder. Now they'll throw back to Wilder. And Wilder into Rough Rider territory. Should have a first down. Sam Hurl, the middle linebacker, takes him down.
Well, you measured, you showed that projection, Chris, and you showed what he did in those 6 games, and you know, just a game changer for the Argos in their Grey Cup championship run. But he's not a surprise anymore. He's not just a newcomer to the league that defenses are trying to figure out how to handle, figure out how to tackle even in the open field. Now they know him. They've got a book on him. They've got video on him. He's going to have to work that much harder to get there now.
Deep up the line, first down, and Wilder again across the 50, and Charleston Hughes the tackle at the 48.
But he's got that breakaway explosive speed too. I mean, he can pound it in there between the tackles, no question. Nice soft hands out of the backfield. But he led the league in 20-plus runs. I mean, this guy can open it up and run by people.
Heard Matt Dunnigan at the half talk about how Zach Caleros got going after they got Jerome Messam going on the ground. Maybe the Argos trying the same strategy here. 2nd and 7. Right in the air, and it's a good catch in traffic. Brian Timms brings it down in front of Creston Butler. Timms cut by Hamilton last year. Brother-in-law of S.J. Green, and the next day signed with the Argos. And it's going to be 3rd and less than a yard.
Guy has a little experience, and a guy who played with Tom Brady and the Patriots at one point in his journey.
Super Bowl ring with the Patriots. So James Franklin in, he'll handle short yardage, and plunging in behind Sean McHugh in the center. Not a big surge. This is going to be close.
For a second, the way that the pile was scrambling, that he may have dropped that ball.
Franklin listed 2nd on the depth chart because he handles short yardage. But Mark Trestman told us yesterday that the backup job has not yet been decided between Franklin and McLeod Bethel Thompson. Well, we're going to get a measurement. And Rider defense thinks they've come up with a stop. Stretching it out, and just on the nose of the football. Argos offense stays on the field.
Well, that initial surge from the Saskatchewan fans out of the backfield, but he led the league in 20-plus runs. I mean, this guy can open it up and run by people.
Heard Matt Dunnigan at the half talk about how Zach Caleros got going after they got Jerome Messam going on the ground. Maybe the Argos trying the same strategy here. 2nd and 7, right to the air, and that's a good catch in traffic. Brian Timms brings it down in front of Creston Butler. Timms cut by Hamilton last year, brother-in-law of S.J. Green, and the next day signed with the Argos. And it's going to be 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, has a little experience, and a guy who played with Tom Brady at the Patriots at one point in his journey.
Super Bowl ring with the Patriots. So James Franklin in, he'll handle short yardage, and plunging in behind Sean McHugh in the center. Not a big surge. This is going to be close.
For a second, the way that the pile was scrambling, that he may have dropped that ball.
Franklin listed 2nd on the depth chart because he handles short yardage. But Mark Trestman told us yesterday that the backup job has not yet been decided between Franklin and McLeod Bethel Thompson. Well, we're going to get a measurement. And Rider defense thinks they've come up with a stop. Stretching it out, and just by the nose of the football. Argos offense stays on the field.
Well, that initial surge from the Saskatchewan D-line and the interior of that D-line, Zach Evans, Eddie Steele, it pushed Franklin back.
Argos offense stays on the field.
Well, that initial surge from the Saskatchewan D-line and the interior of that D-line, Zach Evans, Eddie Steele, it pushed Franklin back initially, but he kept digging and then twisted out of there. He gets pushed back here, and he doesn't have it, but flips out of there, gets a little help, I think, from Wilder, and Wilder got away with a tandem block there. You're not allowed to push a ball carrier from behind.
Argos limited to 3 first downs in the first half. They had 3 on this drive as Ray will dump it off. Declan Cross is wrestled down immediately. There's Moncrief again. He's had a terrific season opener so far.
This is a great scouting report and game plan by Chris Jones and his defensive staff, because Moncrief and Wavin have been in charge of taking James Wilder there. Gets a little help, I think, from Wilder, and Wilder got away with a tandem block there. You're not allowed to push a ball carrier from behind.
Argos limited to 3 first downs in the first half. They had 3 on this drive as Ray will dump it off. Declan Cross is wrestled down immediately. There's Moncrief again. He's had a terrific season opener so far.
This is a great scouting report and game plan by Chris Jones and his defensive staff, because Moncrief and Wavin have been in charge of taking James Wilder Jr., or in this case Declan Cross, the backside of the backfield tight ends, and covering them down, not giving them space. They've eliminated their space in the open field in the flats.
Loss of 6, 2nd and 16. Jimmy Ralph in the game. Here comes the heat again. Ray trying to get out of traffic and throws it away to avoid the sack. And it's been that front 4 pressure that has limited Ricky Ray so far tonight.
Been tracking Willie Jefferson and Charleston Hughes. And Willie Jefferson 15 times he went after the quarterback in the first half. He was blocked 7, had 5 quarterback pressures, 2 deflections. Charleston Hughes rushed 13 times, was blocked just 6 times, blocked up at the line, had 3 sacks, as we've mentioned, 3 pressures and a hit on the quarterback.
Line drive punt. Christian Jones has it. Matt Black was there and now wrestled down by the next man up. Erdman has another special teams tackle after a 36-yard punt. 8 straight completions for Zach Collaros to end the first half of play.
Yeah, you really settled in. I agree with our quarterbacks on the panel when they said, early on it looked a little rough, but he shook that off. That was a planned throw, by the way, to throw it up, give his receiver a chance to come underneath for that, and then that timing throw. It's got to give Zach Collaros a lot of confidence. That was a nice one to Naaman Roosevelt.
Zacho in 8 last year in Hamilton, trying to snap a personal 12-game losing streak. And it's company you don't want to be in on a board for 12 straight, but how about some of the names?
Yeah, it is, but you see there's some pretty good quarterbacks on that list. Anthony Calvillo, currently coaching with Toronto, as Sarah mentioned.
Clements and Kenny Plain. Wow.
But, again, the quarterback is going to get, again, I'll go back to the old cliche, quarterback gets too much credit in the win and too much blame in the loss. And, there were some issues in Hamilton at the time, which is why June Jones was brought in.
2nd and 5, Collaros to the wide side for Carter. Incomplete. Dalton Darby on the corner.
And I'm not suggesting it was coaching issues. I'm just saying that they changed. Made a
lot of things were going on.
Yeah, a lot of changes issues going on in Hamilton, and a lot of changes made. June Jones brought in. Jeremiah Mazzoli took over for Zach Collaros and remains the starter. We'll see him tomorrow in Calgary.
So at 2-0. Martese Jackson back. Awaiting the Bartell punt. High, not deep again. Up at the Argo 50. Martese Jackson across midfield skips into the Argo bench. How can the Argos offense solve this Chris Jones defense that's been beefed up by field position start right at midfield? Cut into this 10-point Roughrider lead. Martese Jackson in the backfield, and the speedster dragged down by Aguavin. Close to a 5-yard pickup.
For the Argos, it's going to be imperative they get success on first down, at least to get 4 or 5 to give themselves a chance. It's 2nd and long. The defensive ends for Saskatchewan have just been too tough to block. Ricky Ray has that opportunity now.
5,546 passing yards last year. 2nd to Mike Riley. Best since 2008. Can't find anybody here now. Down the rail for Timms. Made the catch, but couldn't get a foot down. Incomplete.
Nope, got that foot on the boundary, and there's no push-out rule this year. Receivers, whether they're pushed or not, it's a rule change in the offseason, are going to have to come in with at least 1 foot in bounds. He's up in the air, has control, left foot first to touch, not even close on the white stripe. Out of bounds.
So effort to punt. Launches this over Christian Jones, gets some backspin, and it does roll to the goal line and in. Almost the perfect punt by Pfeffer, but it goes for 1, and it's a 9-point Rider lead. It was the Argos getting outplayed in some aspects of the game, but they just had the big play capability. That was DeVere Posey going for 100 yards. Of course, the fumble recovery here by Cassius Vaughn, longest touchdown in Grey Cup history, 109 yards. Matt Black with that last big play, but the Argos road to victory in 2017 with big plays. They may need 1 or 2 here tonight to get back in this. There's Williams Lambert, who has fit in nicely as the new import receiver.
Well, Jermaine Gabriel started at safety and is playing right now. Matt Black is rotating in at times. They're playing with 2 safeties. I always love to see when a veteran sort of special team demon, a guy who's been a versatile player, one of those guys that you have to have but is not in the newspaper very often. That's Matt Black. He made that big play at the end of the Grey Cup. Good for him. I love seeing that.
And he took that football right from the stadium home.
I guess so.
Nobody else getting their paws on that.
Good for him.
Well short of the first down as the defense steps up. Hakeem Jordan and Dylan Wynn.
Right now, Ricky Ray, though, the defense gets to stop and giving Ray another chance, but Ricky Ray, 9 of 18 at 50%. Last year, he was tied with Matt Nichols, completion percentage highest in the league, him and Matt Nichols. And 84 yards, on pace for the lowest output. He didn't have one under 180 last year.
Back-to-back 2-and-outs to start the second half for the Riders. Bartell punts it away. Yet not deep. Jackson from the 29 trying to get outside. And Robin flushed it back in. And drops him at the 35. 40-yard punt. James Wilder back to work, trying to rekindle what we saw last year. Sarah will have an update on Wilder when we come back.
I'm Captain Obvious, and Hotels.com rewards me basically everywhere. So why am I doing goat yoga at this mountain resort? Because Hotels.com lets me do me. Ah, the smell of goat. Hotels.com. You do you and get rewarded.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This goes out to you, and you. If I can do it, you can too. If I can do it, you can too. See, life is a moment. The story doesn't need the writer's involvement. So edit this for me. Don't embellish and twist it, please. Don't embed it in mysteries. Edit this for me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Polo Ultra Blue, the fragrance by Ralph Lauren.
Only 10 starts last year for James Wilder, finished 5th in rushing, and with more on what we can expect this year. Here again is Sarah.
Well, really, the credit, Mark Trestman said, for Wilder getting on the field and being more prominent last year goes to General Manager Jim Popp. He said, give him a chance. Trestman wasn't sure about it. He wasn't high on Wilder going into the 2017 training camp. Didn't think that necessarily he would be able to sustain himself. Didn't think that he assimilated into the game as quickly as he should have. But obviously, once he got on the field, he was able to, ended up Rookie of the Year, and it changed their season, said Mark Trestman. And as for Wilder for this season, he said that he's taken on more of a leadership role. Last year, he was the one taking notes from Brandon Whitaker. This year, they are coming to him looking for advice.
Mark Trestman really candid about Jim Popp's role in supporting Wilder till he got going. 7 touches, 33 yards. That's it so far for Wilder. And that pass broken up and nearly intercepted. Nick Marshall, the newcomer on the corner, who has quite a story in his own right, nearly had the interception.
Well, I saw by formation that they had James Wilder Jr. wide to the wide side of the field as almost a wide receiver, and had Sam Hurl in a one-on-one. And Ricky Ray went the backside of the play. He didn't go to Wilder in that one-on-one. They'll go back to that matchup.
They won't ignore that for long, will they?
No, I don't think so.
2nd and 10. Incompletion intended for Timms, and now more pressure. Ray's got to throw it away again. That made the line of scrimmage, but there was an Argo in the area.
Charleston Hughes close again. You know, when you get the quarterback, even a Hall of Famer like Ricky Ray, when you get him looking at the rush, you got him. Because he's taking his eyes off the receivers, the timing is off, and now he's just finding a place, or trying to find a place to escape. And he was looking at the rush there.
Good punt by Pfeffer. Christian Jones back at his 20. Reverses field. And is finally dropped at the 26-yard line. Well, Zach Caleros comes out and really instantly felt comfortable in his new environment.
Every day it's like I always say to the media when they're out here, every day feels like semifinal game in Hamilton. You know, like it's just, there's people here all the time with cameras and people coming to the the practices to watch us practice and all those things. You know, I've gone to the grocery store a couple times and have talked to a bunch of people, so it's a little different, but it's exciting. You know, it's kind of what I'm used to, being from Steubenville, Ohio, a smaller town that really loves its sports. And when I was there, we had a lot of football success, as they still do.
All the quarterbacks in the league were high school heroes. Zach, in particular, almost unbeatable in Steubenville. Which I'm sure makes this 12-game losing streak personally even harder to digest for a guy that did nothing but win.
Well, this is Ricky Ray, and although the defense has contained him, he's got, I don't think 14 points is enough.
As clock reaching back, Devin Bailey with his first catch. And that was a tough one. Gonna move the chains. And Bailey, the other Canadian receiver, along with Josh Stanford, trying to replace the great Rob Bagg.
Two-time AUS All-Star at St. FX. And a big target with long reach, 6'5", 200 pounds.
Initial first down of this second half. A different target for Collaros on the night. Three receivers wide side, off the edge, and over the middle. The pass is caught. Keelan Hawley makes the catch. Ronnie Yell with the tackle, but Hawley moves the sticks.
And this is comfort level from Collaros. Again, this is the danger area. He's made a couple of nice throws. We've seen him step into them, but now he's throwing off his back foot and completing them. Now Hawley had to go up a little bit to get it, but it was between the eights. Watch Collaros as he has to fade away here, kind of throw off his heel with Marcus Ball right in his face.
Second catch for Hawley. 5 different Rider receivers with at least 2 catches. Now back in the hands of Messam and dragged down right away by Cleon Lang.
Mike Archer is the new defensive coordinator for the Toronto Argonauts and was a linebacker coach last year, so familiar with the personnel, and 40 years of coaching experience in both the NCAA and NFL, and worked with the Steelers for a few years between 95 and 02.
Replacing former Rough Rider head coach Corey Chamberlain, who helped lead this defense to a Grey Cup title. So 2nd and 9, 4 receivers to the wide side. Rush on, Collaros stands in, got another strike. Joshua Stanford's got it, and another Saskatchewan first down.
Been impressed with Joshua Stanford here again on these curl routes. He's first of all, he's patient with them and runs his routes. He sees his own defense, so he finds the hole, and then Collaros throwing off balance in an uncomfortable position gets it right to him.
Just 1 for 19 all of last year. A couple of catches so far tonight. 15 yards on that play and a first down. Back to Messam. Plows down to the 38.
Well, it gives your offense so much more confidence when your defense is shutting the door on the opponent. You feel like you could just kind of cut it loose and make those plays. Collaros is throwing from real different positions now, where he's off balance on his back heel, throwing with confidence no matter how he has to do it. They're not all perfect, like in practice. Not when you got guys like Sean Lemon getting after you.
76% completion rate so far, and Messam tripped up there. He'll be well short of the first down as we are into the final minute of this third quarter.
Look at his reaction. That happened on his own, I think.
Big guy had a touchdown run and touchdown reception in the Grey Cup game against Toronto last November.
Yeah, let's take a look, because I think he wanted to cut back right there. He just kind of stumbled and went down on his own. Marcus Ball was in the area, but didn't make the tackle.
Lowther from 46 out. has hit from 45, gets another. So a bounce back after missing his first attempt of the season, and it's now 17-5 Saskatchewan. So one more play in this third quarter, and Mark Trestman's down by a dozen.
Which in the Canadian game is not enough, and Mark Trestman knows it. So he's just got to find the answer. Now, what is the answer is the question, because they try to get it to the backside of the backfield. The linebackers have shut that down. They try to go down the field, and Gainey and Javon Johnson have shut that down.
Here comes Willie Jefferson, pass out to Jimmy Ralph. And Ralph's got a first down catch. Dragged down by Moncrief, but a first down for the Argos on the final play of the third quarter. Roughrider fans must like what they see so far. Stout defense. And Zach Colaros
put at 100 yards now. Right now, that Rider defense doing a good job of checking down and making sure they've got Wilder. Now, they may go back to that matchup, Chris, that we saw with Wilder wide and Sam Hurl in a one-on-one, but that has to be the same defense called by Chris Jones.
We know S.J. Green's a favorite target, but they need more, and we haven't really heard from Armonte Edwards.
Well, Edwards almost 1,000 yards last year, and S.J. Green's drawing a little extra coverage. So, yeah, if anything, maybe it's Armonte Edwards who can open things up a little bit and get the Saskatchewan defense on their heels.
First last year, they had DeBeer Posey, the Grey Cup MVP, and there is Edwards on cue to make his first catch of the game, just short of the first down at the Roughrider 50-yard line.
Well, they're putting a high guy over S.J. Green with man-to-man underneath. So, yeah, when it comes to, okay, who's next? Now you're looking at Armonte Edwards at number 10 up at the number 2 spot. He's running right down the hash and then pulls the curl. So if they can work the ball to him a little bit, maybe get the coverage balanced out by Saskatchewan, Toronto might be able to get things moving.
Short yardage, and it's Franklin with the carry for a first down. Edwards was 15th in the league in receiving last year, just under 1,000 yards. And as Mark Trestman has described, the smartest guy in the room, a former college quarterback, a student of the game. Another guy that can impact this offense.
First college player to throw for 10,000 and rush for 4,000 with the Mountaineers.
Kind of the reverse of last year's Eastern Final, where the Roughriders got nothing done offensively till the fourth quarter. And then staged a rally. Let's see if the Argonauts do the same. They've got Wilder open with a flag down. Wilder down by Willie Jefferson at the 1. Let's find out what the penalty flag's all about. Looks like it's going against Saskatchewan.
Legal contact on the receiver against Saskatchewan. Penalties declined. This is first down.
Biggest play of the game for the Argos, 46 yards.
Watch Ricky Ray hold the safety here so that he can't get out there and get to. See right here, he's looking straight down the field at the safety, trying to hold him to this direction. As soon as he does that, he knows he's got James Wilder Jr. on that wheel route down the rail and gets it out to him. And it looks like Jefferson.
Short yardage, James Franklin trying to power his way in, down at the 1.
Like Jefferson was in coverage there, Chris, but see what this flag is. Now they went tempo, try to get James Franklin to punch it in.
Outside, Saskatchewan left defensive tackle. Half the distance to the goal. It's first down.
Well, the tackle's offside. James Franklin will stay in. First down and goal. Once again, this time at the 1. Tries the left side, and he does break the plane. Well, it'll have to be reviewed. There was contact behind the line of scrimmage. Franklin showed some strength there, big quarterback, 6'2", 225.
Another change in the rules in the league this year is that video official will not only automatically review touchdowns, but any touchdown that's close. Now this one is called a touchdown, so that definitely goes to automatic review, but
Blocked out a little bit there by the umpire Patrick MacArthur, but this might show it more clearly. Nick Marshall trying to hold him up.
And because it was called a touchdown, they'll have to find evidence to overturn. Not sure that you could from those angles.
Looks like Chris Jones is still replaying the James Wilder.
Yeah.
46-yard pass and run play. So James Franklin has the Argos' first touchdown of the season. Extra point by Pfeffer. 6 plays, 75 yards in 2 minutes and 19 seconds, and it's James Wilder getting loose to set up the Argos' first major of the season. And Shinnecock. James Franklin into the end zone, capping the Argos' first drive, and suddenly it's a 5-point game.
You know, every now and then Chris Jones will ask his defensive ends, either Charleston Hughes or Willie Jefferson, to cover it back out of the backfield. He's hoping that that pattern or that route will be a short one. Perfect call from Tressman in that defense.
Jones returns it and is stopped short of the 30-yard line on Yeka. York product with another special teams tackle.
Here's Willie Jefferson, and you're going to see Wilder come out of the backfield and then turn it up down the rail. And what Jones is hoping is that sometimes he'll ask his defensive end to come off and take the back. What he doesn't want is that back going deep down the field, and that's where Jefferson got caught in that mismatch. And a perfect call for the defense that was presented from Chris Jones. From the looks of it. Now, I'm not in the playbook, but when I looked at the all-24, it looked like it was straight man, and they were asking Willie Jefferson to cover Wilder.
My call wasn't perfect on Yeka from Laurier, not York. My apologies. And there's Deron Carter, booked out by Alden Darby.
A quiet game.
Yeah.
And that's so far. Using the word quiet when talking about Deron Carter is just not normal.
Third catch of the game, 36 for him, and we've got an Argo taking a knee. Ronnie Yell over from the BC Lions in his 5th year in the league. He is going to have to come out for at least 3. So while Ronnie Yell gets attention, we'll step aside early 4th quarter, 17-12.
The 96-hour.
Last minute touchdown sneak by Cody Fajardo and a 25-21 Toronto win. Second and short here and a plunge ahead for the first down.
They make movies about games like that and 3rd and 5s that were executed the way that was from Ricky Ray to James Wilder, and then Edwards with a catch to the goal line, and they win in the dying seconds to get to the Grey Cup.
And a little bit of drama in the Grey Cup game, too.
Just a little. The Snow Globe Grey Cup. Snow, Shania Twain, and an outstanding football game.
Good close-up of Lyndon Gaydosh over Roughrider. For 1 pick, 2013. Here's Trey Mason. A poor second level. And a first down, and the best run for a guy who broke Bo Jackson's single-season rushing record at Auburn.
Yeah, one of those guys with just an outstanding college resume. A finalist for the Heisman Trophy back in 2013. Jameis Winston won it that year. Johnny Manziel was a finalist as well. We'll see him as the backup in Hamilton tomorrow. Quite the college resume for Trey Mason.
Blocked the tackle, but a 15-yard run, a first down just into Argo territory. Mason again ducked underneath, and it's inside the 50. Guy who fumbled the ball and cost the Riders 3 in the final minute of the first half atoning for that here in the fourth quarter.
A track guy too back in college and ran a 10.900. That's getting real close to world-class speed too.
Marcus Thigpen on the suspended list for the first 2 games, and then he'll be under consideration. 2nd and 4 over the middle. It's batted down, intended for Roosevelt, and there's TJ Heath who had a rough opening quarter, making his biggest play defensively so far tonight.
Yeah, it was, and the timing bang on. TJ Heath is a ball hawk, and he's going to make his picks and make his plays. A couple of years in Winnipeg, had 7 interceptions in limited playing time. Didn't play all 18 games in those years. TJ Heath started as an Argo, back as an Argo. 5 interceptions last year. It was his best play of the game.
Jackson, yards. Jackson bubbled back and then gets drilled. Nice contact there on the punt cover. We do have a flag. It looked like it was for no yards. Adrian Clark with the finish on the play. And Denzel Radford looks like he's been shaken up a bit.
No yards. Saskatchewan number 17. 15-yard penalty. First down, Toronto.
The Argos are rolling again.
We all live for moments of greatness. Those moments can only be achieved when we pull together.
First, 5,000-6,000 fans. I should have the number. We get the replica Grey Cup ring in Toronto next week for their
cool idea. Yeah.
Here's Ray's sidearm. He's got Edwards again.
Yeah, that's,
they don't listen to your
no, they don't.
Between quarter assessments, do they?
It's just he is such a big play threat, and a guy that if he's getting single coverage and Ray can lock into him, can open things up, because now you got to cover the entire field rather than just rolling coverage to one player on one side and SJ Green.
First down up at the 41. Argos with this possession could take the lead. Pass like it was behind SJ Green, but he's able to hold on.
Big catch. That was, that's now a manageable situation. 2nd and 4 or 5, but SJ Green had to reach back. It was he made it look routine. Good receivers make those tough ones look routine.
Was it 2010, July 1st? Grey Cup rematch. SJ Green with one of the greatest catches we've ever seen here. Well, not in this stadium, but at Old Mosaic. Play Wilder lowers his shoulder and runs for a first down.
You hear coaches sometimes talk about game awareness. That's game awareness for James Wilder. He had a 2nd and 5, takes that draw, and decides, I'm not going to dance around in the hole here and try to make this a 30-yard run. We need to move the chains, get a new set. He lowered his pad level, attacked the line of scrimmage, and got the first down.
Eric Stryker, a rookie out of Oklahoma, into the game. On defense for Saskatchewan, a fake to Wilder. Underneath again, Edwards. And lunges to the Rider 51, Moncrief, on the tackle.
James Wilder really wanted a penalty called. There was a play fake, and I believe it was Zach Evans that made the tackle after the fact, and he turned to the ref immediately and didn't get it.
2nd and 4. There's a reset. Working rate 9 of 13 here in the second half. Here they come. Got it away, and it's intercepted. Down the sidelines is Nick Marshall, the rookie. He is going to take it to the house. Touchdown. Stories you'll hear. Nick Marshall with a huge play. Was the ball deflected? Looked
Jefferson, I believe, got his hands on it. He went inside on a stunt. Got linebacker Cameron Judge was in the game. He came off the edge. Pressure breaks pipes, and Ricky Ray gets that ball tipped. It floats, and Toronto trying to figure out what happened.
Ed Geaney with contact on the receiver, but with the ball tipped. There's nothing wrong with that, Dan. Nick Marshall, a quarterback for Auburn. Return man in the NFL. A DB in college before he became a quarterback, is now a star quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This huge play. Inspection.
Yeah, in further review, it wasn't tipped. You see Ray getting rid of it, not tipped by Jefferson, which means potential pass interference there from Ed Geaney. He was on the back of S.J. Green. Mark Trestman did not challenge. You could still challenge pass interference. You cannot challenge illegal contact. That would have been a potential pass interference. Not challenged. Play is run, and it's over now.
You can't take a challenge that would have been won. You don't see too many ducks like that tossed by Ricky Ray, and Nick Marshall took full advantage.
Well, he just got Willie Jefferson right there in his throwing lane, and Marshall takes it to the house.
Chris Jones mentioned to us yesterday that this youngster on the corner better than he had anticipated, despite an impressive resume. Well, the Argonauts back down by a dozen with just over 7 minutes to go. Ortiz Jackson in the offense, sprints out of the backfield, Ray over the middle. Declan Cross has the catch.
Let's show you the touchdown again and just the route here. Here's the route by S.J. Green and the close here from Ed Geaney. And you know, you can be the judge. Is there early contact? I think there is. You know, that would have gone to challenge, and you see Mark Trestman certainly still has his challenge. Didn't use it.
2nd and 4. Good protection, crosser, and a pitch there for S.J. Green on a first down. Ed Geaney the tackle.
Again, Ricky Ray will let that one go, get right back to the game plan, because they were working Armonte Edwards, getting a little S.J. Green on the under routes now, not the deeper intermediate routes or deep routes, those underneath ones, and then a little bit of James Wilder. Right back to the game plan.
First down, short drop, guns, and has a completion. There's Edwards once again in Rough Rider territory at the Saskatchewan 52.
Yeah, that definitely was the adjustment. Edwards right here. Timing route, and the timing is there.
More for Monty Edwards. Fourth pitch, 62 yards. Fake to Wilder, Ray on a roll, and there's Timms with a catch. Another first down, gets driven back. On a tackle by Marc-Olivier Brouillette, who is in at the safety spot now.
Well, good throw and catch here for the Argos, but Timms just could have gone out of bounds here. First of all, stop the clock immediately, get out of bounds quickly as you can, because the clock's the enemy for the Argos now as well. And also maybe save from taking that hit.
Ricky Ray with 100 yards in the first 3 quarters, 121 already in this 4th quarter. Pressure coming. Gets away and throws incomplete with a flag in the Saskatchewan backfield. S.J. Green was the target once again, and Ed Geaney looks like he is arguing the call.
Legal contact on a receiver, Saskatchewan number 3. It's a 10-yard penalty on first down.
Marshall called. Geaney had an issue with it, and so does Marshall.
Well, I think part of the issue was that Ricky Ray threw this away. So basically saying, how can you call illegal contact if the ball is just thrown away in desperation? That's borderline right there at best.
First downs, Rider 25. They can't find anybody. Scrambling and throws it away again.
Yeah, that's coverage sack. Or coverage that caused the incompletion, I should say, but Marshall's been asked to cover S.J. Green on a couple of these plays in the last couple of series. Now he's asking the crowd to get into it. He's learned all about this whole rider phenomenon early in his career. Wave your hands a couple times, he'll get going.
And 3-down range for the Argos now, you think?
2 possessions.
He steps up. Roll again. Edwards stretches out for a big catch. The man who made the huge catch in the Eastern Final to set up the winning touchdown stretches out for that one.
See, Ray on the run here starts to wave, and I think even trying to wave to James Wilder as a decoy. He kind of waves to Wilder, then throws it back into the middle to Edwards.
Hit the 3-minute warning. Argos down by 12, but threatening. Still time on the clock. AM Eastern. 1st and 10. Argos with the football. Roughrider 13-yard line. 4 receivers wide side. Play action pick for Wilder into the end zone. Incomplete. He intended for Timms.
Ed Gainey sat on that route nicely, and he made it almost impossible for Ray to fit it in, so he throws it to the back of the end zone where maybe only Timms can recover to it, or it falls incomplete and they go 2nd and 10. Nice coverage there by last year's outstanding defensive player nominee.
Ricky Ray starts the season 10 touchdown passes away from passing a guy named Lancaster on the all-time touchdown list. This the 9th play of the drive. 2nd and 10. Has to pull it down again. Hughes in pursuit on the run. Pitch is made, and Jimmy Ralph hangs on.
I'm not sure he got to the marker, so
looks like it's going to be 3rd, and it could be 3rd and a yard.
In comes Sam Hurl and Zach Evans. A little more size, and for Toronto, they bring in their elephant team.
Contact between Ralph and the 34-year-old veteran corner. Johnson, James Franklin's got a touchdown and needs a yard here. 3rd and 1. Good surge. In behind Tyler Holmes, the left guard. Franklin ends up in the end zone after the whistle sounds.
Well, I know it would have been gutsy, but that would have been one of those situations, Chris, where, because James Franklin's quarterback and a good one, and you run that little play action fake that you're going to try and dive ahead for that yard and try and hit somebody out in the flat for the touchdown, get it to save some time on the clock. I thought it might have been an ideal situation to do it, but it would have been a gutsy call. Get the first down, get another set of downs. Got to score here. Got to score the mean.
Stays in at the 2, 1st and goal. And this time they will roll it out, throw it, and Declan Cross has the touchdown. Couple of 2-point converts in the Grey Cup game. He had touchdowns in each of the final 3 regular season games. And the fullback hits pay dirt to give us a finish here tonight.
Play action to Wilder. Declan Cross. Last year I called him the secret weapon for the Argos. Not a secret anymore. He's money when you ask him to be.
3rd-year guy at a MAC and one of the most popular players on this Argo team. Caps a 12-play, 78-yard drive. And the Argos rebound from that Nick Marshall pick six to cut the lead again. 5-point Saskatchewan advantage with 2:16 left.
And this is where your starting quarterback and running game make their money. Zach Collaros comes out here. He works this clock all the way down to well inside half a minute. It's game over even if he gets field goal range. More look at that touchdown by Declan Cross. Well across the line. No question there. One possession football game.
Went down to the wire last night. Congratulations to both Edmonton and Winnipeg. 5 hours, 24 minutes to finish. And if you stuck with it, you saw a terrific finish to that game. Chris Strebler looking good in his CFL debut, but Mike Riley looking like an MOP when it came down to the wire. Preston Jones slips just over the 20-yard line. So long field, protecting a 5-point lead for Zach Collaros with 2:12 on the clock.
Well, that was the hands team for Saskatchewan on that kick, meaning they were anticipating an onside kick. Mark Trestman elected not to do that, kick it deep, and put it in the hands of his defense to get a quick 2-and-out here. And that's where, again, that's where your starting quarterback makes his money, right here.
So as a coach, is it 1:45? Is it 2 minutes? At what point does it go from kicking it away to kicking short? Over 2 minutes to go, and Mark Trestman going to put it on his defense with Messam in the game. Take to Messam, pass complete, and it's Spencer Moore. So the Roughriders use their fullback to get a big play.
Three first downs, maybe 4 should do it.
See if the clock stops today. Ruled that Moore was out of bounds. Got a first down. Would have preferred to keep the clock running.
Mike Archer going to dial up blitz here. If they try to run the ball, you've got the gaps canceled. If they don't run it and go try and throw it, you got pressure on the quarterback.
Clock does run, so Moore did a good job of making sure he didn't go out inadvertently. Short drop, quick hitter, incomplete. Intended for Roosevelt, busted up by Jermaine Gabriel.
Yeah, big play there by Gabriel because the Argos loaded the line of scrimmage. I mean, they put their entire defense on the line of scrimmage again to cancel any type of running gap there might be, to put Zach Collaros in a position where he's got to throw the one-on-one. Tried it to Naaman Roosevelt just behind him with Jermaine Gabriel right there.
Stops the clock. Big play coming up. 2nd and 10. Argos trying to get the ball back in Ricky Ray's hands. Collaros trying to keep it away. Stretching it out. Hawley! Incomplete, but the flag comes down. Ronnie Yell in coverage and draws the flag.
Now he doesn't agree with it. Let's take a look at it. Corner route, Caleb Hawley. Ronnie Yell was right there. Now there was some pushing and shoving. Did it go both ways, or did Ronnie Yell just put the clamps on him?
Pass interference, Toronto number 25. Automatic first down.
Take one more look, just watching the Argo bench to see if they'd be interested in a challenge.
Well, Saskatchewan was called a couple of series ago. Nick Marshall called on illegal contact that was very borderline. I'd put this one in the same category.
Comes a 39-yard penalty, and Into the hands of Messam. Dragged down by Justice Tuggle. Now in field goal range and make it an 8-point game. As Mark Trestman does his calculations.
You could tell that, couldn't you? Looking right at the clock, doing the math on the 24-19 score and going to that chart.
Another first down will just about put it out of reach. 2nd and 9. Messam again. Gonna kick it outside. It does for a big first down.
That could do it. That could do it right there. That second effort. Our producer John Hines just before the play said in my ear, "Do you take the chance and throw it here?" And I said, "Absolutely. I think you play aggressively and go at it on 2nd and 10. So gutsy call to go with the run, but when you got Jerome Messam and the Messam Express, why not give it a shot and let him do the rest? He could have been caught right there for...
TJ Heath missed him on the ankles, and instead Messam runs for 11 and a huge first down. 19th carry of the night for 69 yards.
Zach Collaros will work the clock here. Not snapping until they're down to a couple.
Missed him again.
Great decision, I think, by Mark Trestman to call for the deep kickoff. His defense has had 2 2nd and longs to get the stop. There was the PI call on Ronnie L. That flopped the field and gave them a new set of downs, and then the run by Messam and a missed tackle by TJ Heath.
Needed a defensive stop, but the Roughriders have 3 first downs. They got the big pass interference call. 39 yards on that one big chunk.
Now if you're Toronto, you're trying to rip the ball out. Hold up whoever has it in his hands, whether it's Zach Collaros or Jerome Messam. Hold him up, try and rip the ball out. The next second guy, third guy into the pile. Try and pull it out of there.
Roughriders looking for their first season opening win since 2014. They won both regular season games last year against the Argonauts. And flag on the play will stop the clock. And if it's against Saskatchewan, the Argos will get their hands on the football one more time.
Procedure, Saskatchewan, no end. Penalties decline. It's 3rd down.
Well, the field goal unit will come on and attempt to give the Roughriders an 8-point lead. Little bit of time will be left. Talked to Ricky Ray yesterday about scoring the go-ahead field goal in the Grey Cup game and how unsure he was of whether that would stand up. And he remembered immediately they'd left 49 seconds on the clock. And Calgary almost, well, they had enough time.
And Matt Black makes the play, or it's a different outcome.
Lowther's had a good game. 3 of 4 after missing from 33. He
Time
gets
out.
from 45, 43, and 46. Barring a Ray miracle, the Riders will start the season on the right foot, and Zach Collaros will put to bed a personal losing streak of 12 consecutive games. From 32 yards away, right down the middle. Gets 4 for 5 on the night.
Last win for Zach Collaros, 2016. against the Montreal Alouettes. Boy, that must feel like a lifetime ago for them. It'll feel good to shake that losing streak. But, you know, it's the CFL, and it's not over till it's completely over.
$645 days. Crack statistician John Russell on the length of time between the last win for Zach Collaros and tonight. Expecting a swift kick here.
It's often the strategy because it takes a couple of seconds for the return team, the Argos, to pick it up.
Nope. It's away, and it will be Martese Jackson. What's he got? Outside and steps out with 7 seconds left, so one Hail Mary remaining for Ray and the Argos.
Now the secondary will drop off 40, 50 yards here. One strategy has been in the past for offenses to try and throw it in front of that deep secondary. Basically lined up there. In front of that deep secondary, and then try and do the laterals, sort of the rugby play down the field.
Pick 6 by Nick Marshall, huge in this game. And it's a drop right away with 2 seconds left. They'll have to reload. S.J. Green was lateraling the ball before he caught it.
Yeah, he was, and he had James Wilder, who looked like he may have stepped on it or something. He's limping back to the huddle. James Wilder was coming through on looking for that little pitch.
Roughriders in Ottawa next week. Argos home to Calgary. A Grey Cup rematch. Trying the same play. There's Green. Pitched it over the head of Wilder, and this isn't the way they wanted it to work. And finally piled on back at the 15-yard line. It's in the books. Zach Collaros wins his Saskatchewan Roughriders debut here. The final 27-19.
But we're going to go to the defense for the player of the game, because that defense really shut down Ricky Ray for 3 solid quarters to give Zach Collaros time to settle in. And the newcomer in the lineup, Charleston Hughes, who was looking for sack number 100 when he entered this game, and his first as a Rider. Well, he didn't just get that done. He got 2 extras. 3 sacks in the first half for number 39. He's our player of the game.
Well, it's a season-opening win for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Their new faces are prominent. Zach Collaros and former teammate meet at the end of it. Ricky Ray, by the way, finished with 242 yards of passing, but through that Nick Marshall pick. And the Roughriders win at 27-19. Hope you enjoyed it. So long from Regina. Sports Center is next.